Thank you. Thank you so very much for coming. We like to bring you warmest and heartfelt revolutionary greetings from Liberia's biggest and foremost civil rights political movement, the CDC Council of Patriots. Today, we have the full national executive brilliantly seated. So on my far side is Brother Kendrick Pittman. He is the Vice Chair for Administration. We will just skip the most powerful man and move forward to the comrade adjacent me. He is Comrade Petrat Joshua Carr. He is the Vice Chair for Operations. I'm Fode and Master of the National Secretary General, and we do have our arrowhead and leader, Chairman Ben Believe Tokpa. So today, we will be speaking to specific issues as we head towards the independence and celebration. The CDC Council of Patriots being Liberia's biggest civil and political movement, we'll be calling on the Liberian people in general to boycott the so-called lavish Planned Independence Day program. We also like to appreciate, the chairman will be doing that, the official arrowhead, the chairman will appreciate Minister Samuel D12 and others for accepting to allow themselves, to avail themselves, to allow democracy to flourish. Unlike other people in this country, when Unity Party people murder people on camera, Joe Biden appointed those murderers and killers with director positions. They are benefiting from the sweat, from the blood of Momo Tamba, of Joshua Solomon Bar. Series of other comrades that were brutally murdered by United Party. These people were declared wanted by the Liberian National Police. Instead of availing themselves, refused. They were rewarded with government jobs. Joe Biden is rewarding criminals and murderers in the country. So Minister Samuel Twain and others say, no, for us, we will unveil ourselves to kill the propaganda. We will also be speaking to the issue of one Gregory Coleman, a man who enjoys the comfort of wrapping on lip gloss man, who suffered from a gender identity. We believe in our mind, the chairman will do the official presentation, and how Gregory Coleman have reduced the Liberian National Police to a partisan police. You cannot be a card-carrying member of the Unity Party and you are an Inspector General. That is why the Liberian National Police have been reduced to a killing police. We all know about the Kinjor massacre. We all know about the brutal murder of James Kwanda, a 15-year-old that was murdered. We all know about a peaceful Liberian that died in Podikos. The police killed him. He died in Podikos. So if you look at the police is a police that continue to commit mayhem, instill fear, and kill the ordinary Liberian people. The chairman will also be speaking of that. We will also look at the most important issue. You cannot have civil servants that have not taken pay. You cannot have foreign diplomats that have not been paid for over 7 months. These people are being abandoned. They are being frustrated. You cannot have the economy running. ACL will not get finance minister. The country will not get finance minister. You cannot have a country that the rule of law has been consistently violated, and you want to celebrate. What are we celebrating? So the government is spending some over 149 million Liberian dollars. The chairman will also be speaking to that. And quickly, we move on to our international partners. The international partners were proactive in the campaign process. We believe that it is an affront, it is a serious and severe contradiction. According to the Geneva Convention of 1949, the international partners should play a role when people have been murdered, when the Liberian people have been killed, when corruption, when you get Mamaka-ability, when you get Amos Square and other people who have violated Article 43D of the Constitution, taking taxpayer money with no legislative approval. The chairman will also be speaking to that. We believe that the international partners will come in. Liberia should not go to war. We should not be shooting gun here in 1990. before the international partners come in with refugee food. We don't need food. We need the international partner to step in. The chairman will also be reflecting and reminding the international partner that I attend. For the international partner to attend this upcoming program, it means the international partners are facilitating and standing with the regime on the killing of Liberians. We believe the international partner will not support that. So we are calling on them to advise the government to listen to the grievances of the Liberian people. The chairman will finally be encouraging the Liberian people all walk of life, giving them hope, renewing confidence. Yeah, the country is a dangerous state. The country is at a state of pandemonium. But the Liberian people should not give up. Liberian people should remain intact. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm just a paraphernalia to set the basis. We are just giving a synopsis of what you are about to see here. So allow me to reduce my height as I present to you the most powerful man of our movement, the CDC Council Patriot Chairman Ben Believe Topa. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues of the National Executive Council of Liberia, biggest and foremost grassroots civil rights political movement, members of the Fourth Estate, fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. July 24, 2024. CDC Council of Patriots calls on Liberians to boycott July 26 celebration. Welcomes Mr. Samuel D. Tuah and others' acceptance to cooperate with the police investigation to end propaganda and misinformation. Declares Mr. Gregory Coleman as a politician of the Unity Party and proves that Gregory is a protector of murderers. Call on the Boakai administration to avoid lavish Independence Day celebration and divert funds to important issues. Reminds the international partners that Liberia is heading for disaster under Mr. Joseph Nneoma Boakai. Fellow Liberians and distinguished members of the press, we bring you greetings from the bastion of intellectualism, consciousness, and national hope for a better Liberia. The National Executive Council of the CDC-COP appreciates Honorable Samuel D. Tuah and others for accepting to collaborate with the Liberian National Police to prove their innocence and end a long campaign of falsehood and misinformation in Liberia. However, CDC-COP informs Honorable Tuah that the LNP does not have the authority to sign on individuals. Only a legitimate code of competent jurisdiction does. While we encourage Honorable Tuah's patriotic cooperation, we caution against the LNP use as a political tool under Mr. Boakai directives. We insist that Honorable Tuah and others must use the court to prove their innocence because Gregory Coleman, as the director of police, is involved in the killing of peaceful citizens. As a murderer, Gregory lacks the moral and credibility to investigate cases of such nature. Meanwhile, CDC-COP officially declares Mr. Gregory O.W. Coleman the worst police inspector general in the history of Liberia. As a politician and card-carrying member of the Unity Party, CDC-COP views Mr. Coleman's action, including presenting himself as a chairman of Unity Party propaganda team, as evidence of his partisan nature, which divides the country along political lines and threatens pandemonium nationwide. His actions, ordering the killing of protesters, protecting killers and fugitives, and turning a blind eye to current murder cases while using the LNP to wish on political opponents, pose a dangerous disregard for the rule of law and undermine the democratic fairness. Therefore, CDC-COP declares Mr. Coleman a partisan officer, a murderer, and a protector of murderers who lacks the moral authority to discuss matters of the rule of law. CDC-COP reminds the Liberian people of several instances where Gregory Coleman has been involved in the killing and brutalization of innocent citizens to satisfy the political desire of Mr. Joseph Nneoma Boakai. Below are accounts and historical instances citing Gregory inhuman acts. 1. On February 29, 2024, Mr. Gregory Coleman, as Director of Police, under the instruction of Mr. Joseph Newman Boaka, ordered the police to brutalize nearly 38 citizens and shot 4 to death in Kinjal massacre. Ese Masale, Issa Masale, Vamuya Kamara, and Abraham Kekula were killed in cold blood, shot in the back while fleeing the scene. They were not protesters, but innocent bystanders caught in a crossfire. Gregory Coleman intentionally murdered these Liberians to protect the multinational regime friend B Mountain, a mining company in Liberia. Liberians demand an impartial investigation, which Gregory refused. He failed to recognize that the LNP was implicated in the case and incapable of investigating itself. Centar and the Liberia Council of Churches condemned the compromise process in an attempt to obstruct justice for the murdered citizens. Today, the victim families have sued the Boaka administration and B Mountain Mining Company for $30 million in negligence, damages, and so forth. And we stand with the families of those victims. The government will lose the case because the brutality and deaths of these Liberians are glaring. Due to Gregory's appetite to kill innocent Liberians around Liberia, about $50 million of taxpayer money is intended for that should be used for hospital drugs will be used as a death benefit. This illustrates the magnitude of Gregory's wickedness and extreme heartlessness. We, the CDC Council of Patriots, demand an urgent independent investigation of the Kinjal massacre to hold the perpetrators accountable for their crimes against humanity. 2. On Gregory's tenure as Inspector General of Police, a 15-year-old child, James Pandey, was shot dead by state security officer. The LNP dismissed the killer, but refused to investigate him for the crime. We view this as a calculated attempt by Gregory and the LNP to protect the killer and disregard the child who was murdered simply for standing by the roadside. Under Gregory's leadership at the police directorate, Liberians can be killed for merely standing by the road. This is troubling. Count 3. A citizen died in police custody without explanation. Today, the LNP shamelessly claimed the citizen committed suicide at a depot in Cinco. Fellow Liberians, how can a shirtless man in a cell taller than himself hang himself? Ask yourself these questions. They killed a victim in the custody and hastily transported the body to the hospital in order to destroy evidence. Today, the family demand justice, but Gregory Coleman and the LNP have refused to heed their cries. We demand an immediate investigation and resolution of this police act of killing an innocent citizen. Count 4. A police vehicle intentionally killed a motorcyclist who wasn't wearing a helmet. Gregory disorganized no-go zone for motorcyclists has also caused injury and death to innocent citizens in Liberia. The police pickup intentionally killed a motorcyclist merely for not wearing a helmet while crossing a checkpoint in Cinco. Let me reiterate, the police pickup intentionally killed a motorcyclist merely for not wearing a helmet while crossing a checkpoint in Cinco. We demand immediate accountability for those murders. Count number 5. Gregory has consistently ordered Boaka's underpaid police to brutalize and shoot live bullets at ideological supporters of the Progressive Student Alliance (PROSA) on the University of Liberia campuses. Several students are still suffering from wounds inflicted at Gregory's behest. We demand immediate medical assistance and want the world to know that Gregory is a violator and abuser of human rights. Count number 6. On January 8, 2024, the Liberian National Police dismissed Officer Atima Harding after he facilitated murderer Peaches Queen Johnson. After he facilitated murderer Peaches Queen Johnson escaped from police custody. As you may be aware, Peaches Queen Johnson is the political play daughter of Mr. Joseph Newman Bwaka. Angry citizens wanted to arrest Queen Johnson at the famous Red Lion nightclub for the murder of Joshua Solomon Bag, alongside over 100 to dismiss an officer for helping a murder of Queen Johnson, a wanted murderer, to his confirmation hearing at the Liberian Senate. This illustrates Gregory's action to take Peaches Johnson, a murder suspect, clearly illustrates Gregory's role while serving as Director of Records and Documents at the National Port Authority (NP). We demand an urgent investigation into this case. Count 7. Under Gregory's watch, Francis Yumale, Joseph Bwaka's nephew and warlord of the Local Defense Force, now Minister of Internal Affairs, ordered the daylight killing of Momo Tama and several others in Foya slaughtering. Gregory is comfortable sitting with murderer Yumale in the cabinet and has refused to investigate Momo Tama's death. Murderer Yumale has been publicly heard on live television declaring his intent to kill anyone like Momo Tama without consequences. Why is Gregory indifferent to this clear evidence of murder, sitting in the cabinet and begging for killing ordinary citizens? Fellow Liberians, CDC-COP can cite 20 additional instances where Gregory has ordered and facilitated the killing and dehumanization of citizens to serve his political Unity Party interests, his political party, the UP interest. Therefore, we use this medium to declare that Gregory's hands are stained with so much blood, and it is shameful and disgraceful for him to target innocent people for political reasons. Gregory must account for the dozens of deaths under his leadership in less than 7 months. We tell our international partners that with Gregory as a politician and card-carrying member of the Unity Party, using his office to kill and prosecute political opponents, we can assure the world that Gregory will use the police to lead Liberia to war. Having said that, members of the press, fellow Liberians, CDC-COP calls on the Bwaka administration to avoid any lavish independence celebration, plans, and allocate funds to critical issues such as drug awareness, crime prevention, and investigations into cases neglected by Gregory. CDC's plan to spend $789,665.53, or its equivalent $155 million on a single day event, while hospital lacks essential drugs. Civil servants remain unpaid, illegal dismissals remain rampant, corruption thrives in the cabinet, and Liberia's economy face soaring prices of basic goods and services. Over 90% of the population have expressed their satisfaction under Mr. Bwaka's administration. Even peace is not guaranteed here. We challenge the regime to listen to the Liberian people for once. Holding a low-key event like the Armed Forces Day and diverting millions of taxpayer dollars to issues that directly benefit the Liberian people is of essence. The CDC Council of Patriots reminds our international partner, Mr. Joseph Bwaka, and his autocratic band of state squanderers and looters are driving the nation to war while you remain silent or tight-lipped. The current silence of the international partners on issues such as killing protesters, rampant corruption, breakdown of state institutions, persecution of critical voices with death threats and intimidation, and constitutional bastardization under the Bwaka administration is alarming. Liberians are concerned that international partners have forgotten the welfare and human rights of the people. The Geneva Convention of 1949 allows international partners to assist and facilitate governance in any country, especially when human rights abuses and abuse of power occur. These violations occurred over 50 times under Mr. Joseph Boakai, and our international partners have remained silent. We believe the same international partners who were proactive during the 2023 elections cannot remain mute during governance under Mr. Boakai. Where the government kills ordinary citizens, openly engaged in theft, illegally dismisses citizens, overrides the judiciary, destroys the economy, hunts down critical voices, and leads the nation toward divisive war. We urge our international partners to act promptly. There's no other movement in time than now. The urgency exists. Notwithstanding, CDC-COP uses this platform to plead with international partners to boycott any form of lavish celebration of the July 26th organized by the Boakai-Kun administration. The National Youth Congress of the Unity Party, Boy Scout, and several institutions have publicly announced their boycott of this event. We wish to inform all West African leaders and international partners that any attempt to attend a one-day event with extravagant celebration will be seen by the Liberian people as if the international partners support the Boakai-Kun administration wasteful spending of millions of taxpayers' dollars. While Liberians suffer from starvation and common illnesses. Therefore, we urge you boycott the extravagant Independence Day celebration and encourage the regime to address the grievances of the Liberian people. Fellow countrymen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, Liberia is now a dangerous state, sitting on a time bomb waiting to explode due to Joseph Newman Boakai's desperation for total power, nepotism, divisiveness, dictatorship, rampant corruption, and consistent violations of the rule of law. CDC-COP assures everyone across the political spectrum, including the abandoned market women whose livelihoods have been disrupted because of the regime breaking down their market structure, their tables, and undermining the source of income, that the time for redemption is approaching. The time for redemption is approaching. We must unite in our suffering today and confront the Boakai's tyranny to form a people's alliance to redeem our country. Yes, we can do it. We can defeat the Boakai's nightmare and set our nation free from the calamity of 2023. Stay hopeful, fellow Liberians. Do not give up. As long as the CDC Council of Patriots exists, we pledge our lives and souls as a living sacrifice in defense of the ordinary masses to demand better living conditions for the masses of our people, fight against impunity, do what is right in the interest of our people. Long live Liberia. Let's protect the state.
Thank you very much. You listening to the chairman. He articulated our official position. Gregory Coleman is a card-carrying member and politician, and we're going to treat him as one. A man who hence is involved into the stain of blood. How dare him try to question people who have decent character? So you, the press, you now do have an opportunity to ask 4 questions according to the statement, and we call this a day. So I will do the recognition. You can place your hands up, ask the question, and the chairman will answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Archie Boan, and I report for Today Lambo Television. Some part of 2022, the CDC-COP were one of those institutions that graced the occasion of the July 25th celebration back then. And now you ask Liberians to boycott this 25th celebration. Don't you think it's injustice?
Thank you. So we'll take the next question.
My name is Christopher Kai, and I report from the exclusive on television. So, you just mentioned about the July 26th Independence celebration, which of course will be held by President Joseph Mwanga. If the independence celebration continues, what will be the next step of the CDC-COP?
Thank you. So the chairman will answer the two. If the independent celebration is continuing,
Yeah.
because we know the government do not respect the Liberian people, but we are aware on the government's killing regime, so we know they don't respect the Liberian
So
people.
next-
And the next question on our role on July 26th. So the chairman will answer quickly.
Thank you very much. With regards to July 26th, the CDC-COP as a peaceful and law-abiding institution, matter of fact, the country's biggest and only grassroots civil rights political movement, we submitted ourselves to the Code of Competence Jurisdiction and answer to the law. We are here. So we want to challenge Gregory Coleman, the folks in United Party, Peaches, alias Queen Johnson, to face the law and answer those questions. Secondly, with regards to Mr. Boaka going on to be very insensitive, it is his rule to listen to the people or not. I want to say this. The people in power are not the custodian of the power. After elections, the power returns to the people. The power in the people is matter than the people in power. So an attempt for Mr. Boaka to remain insensitive, he will be greeted by what Blaise Pascal said. When the people facilitate your ascendancy and are injured by your administration, they give you hate and they give glory to non-entity. And on that fateful day, Mr. Boaka will face the patriotic wrath of the mass of the Liberian people.
Thank you. So the next two questions. Yeah.
How do you know that Gregory Coleman is a card bearer of the Unity Party?
Thank you. On the last question.
Okay, my name is Jared Morris. I report for Freedom FM. I already heard about the foreign national, right? I want to know what is the role of the foreign national in independence, and will you elaborate further on it?
All right, so thank you. Two questions, one from the director of News at Banner FM, Mr. Blighting, talk about how do we have facts about Greg being a card-carrying member of the United Party. Now, the actions of political pundits speaks volume to their side and interest. One, Gregory Coleman is knowledgeable about Queen Johnson's involvement in the murder of a young Liberian and a supporter of President George Weah, Joshua Solomon Bach. Gregory Coleman, being cognizant of this reality, had Queen Johnson accompany him at the confirmation hearing. Since Gregory took over as Inspector General of the Liberian National Police, he is yet to question or to call Peaches Queen Johnson for questioning. It was announced that Peaches is wanted by the Liberian National. She's still a figure wanted. To date, Greg sits comfortably and does nothing about bringing Peaches Johnson, alias Queen Johnson, to book. Those are empirical facts that show exactly where Gregory Fit lies. Greg is a card-carrying member of the Unity Party. The next question about the role of our international partners. Our international partners play a pivotal role in the existence of our country. Resources generated from the hard-earned hours put in those countries are agreed to come through humanitarian assistance or through diplomatic means to help build Liberia, to move Liberia forward in terms of development, whether infrastructure or human resource-wise. Those international partners play a pivotal role. By joining Mr. Boaka and his team of kleptocrats and kakistocrats to use the Liberian people money to celebrate an extravagant independence, we want to show a great level of insensitivity, and we're fully aware that the international partners will never support anything that has to do with using the Liberian people money for a fun fair, where institutions that are supposed to provide basic services like the health sectors, the hospitals, the drug enforcement agency, the teachers, those are areas of focus. So our international partners are being cautioned to boycott any extravagant celebration of a fun fair while the Liberian people are being denied access to basic services.
Thank you very much.
So we'd like to appreciate the press and say thank you very much for coming. And God bless everyone.